All right, so let's talk about a reception, right? Because I think a lot of times, especially in the DC area, and of course, budgets can vary based off of location. We doing an event in New York or us going down to Miami, those budgets will probably be different based off of the location. So here in DC, if we did a reception for about 100 people, if you were to come to me and say that your budget is $20,000 and you had 100 people, I would probably say that's a decent budget. But if you came in and said, we have 200 people or 250 people and we only had $20,000 for a reception, then we will have to work with some levels of compromise. And that's another thing that clients should always really focus on is, or be willing to open up to, is compromise. So with that, if I did a budget that was $20,000 for 100 people, my main things that I will look for is my food and beverage. So on average, for the DC location, your minimum is probably about $80. Max can probably go up to $120 for one person. So $20,000, let's say 100 people, or $100 for the 100 people will be the parameters that you're working within for your budget. And your food and beverage, that is, your first course, that's your main dish, and then of course, if you have dessert. But it's more than just that, because you have people preparing that, you have people serving it, you have linen and flatware and stemware, all of that go into your budget as well. So a lot of times clients don't think of the details of that. They just think, okay, I'm just getting food, so that's all that I really am, interested in paying for, which is not the case when you're dealing with hotels or catering companies. But you also have to think of what are your guests going to be experiencing and expecting from you. So you have a bar that you have to think of. We're all social, so we need some type of photography, some type of video that's going on. Am I thinking about lighting? What type of lighting? What type of floral decor that I want? Am I having centerpieces? Am I having a flower wall? That is included in there. If it's a wedding, then you're thinking about your bouquet. You're thinking about your boutonnieres, your bridal party's flowers, and so on and so forth is really important. So your budget, when you're thinking about it, I like to create an Excel sheet. I tell my clients, create an Excel sheet, and then you have on one side of the Excel sheet what is expected. A long list of everything that you want to include in your event. The things that I've mentioned, your venue, your food and beverage, all of that. And then on the other side of the sheet, you have what is actual. So that's once you get to that point, how much were you actually charged? Maybe I have $20,000, but I was only charged $15,000 for the total event. So we saved you $5,000, which is a good thing. So you have that, and that really aligns your expectations for what you can really expect to get from your budget. And I would say prioritize that list. Of course, the most important things are going to be at the top, and then the least important things for you at the bottom. So we had to cut anything. We can start from the bottom and go up. But with a good event planner, if it's for a wedding or even for a reception, they will be able to, outline how you can compromise but still have the same good value and quality for whatever it is that you're compromising on. And don't feel that because you're compromising that you're getting something less. So with your budget, you always want to make sure that you have those things together so that way it's ideal and that you work through them step by step. I do encourage, especially for my corporate clients, to have a 20% contingency for their budget. Of course, that's not all ideal for everybody, but when you have a 20% contingency, then it allows you to say, okay, I know that I'm going over budget, but at the same time, I still have something in place that allows me to still carry on because it's a must-have for me. Something came up and I just had to have it. So that 20% contingency allows you to get to that point. But nevertheless, whenever you are thinking about money, because money is, we don't have tons of money, especially if it's a wedding or if it's a cocktail reception or a birthday party. We don't have, vaults full of money. So we have to really be cautious as far as how we're spending it. So being realistic about your budget and what you're actually spending is important. So I think that, when you have those things in line, it's really will set you up for success. You're not going to have a budget and begin to be depressed because you've gone over your budget, or you're having to drastically cut things off of your budget, because at the beginning you already set your expectations. You knew what you were going to get and what was possible but was unsure. So using that Excel sheet, you're able to outline the type of budget that you would have for your event and your clients or your guests, and really understand how to manage that, how your event planner can be set up for success to help you. Of course, with event planners, we have a slew of vendors and connections that we could really help as far as getting discounts and things like that. So I think understanding that part of your budget will really help you in the long run, and to navigate the decisions that you make when you're creating your event and trying to plan it and have yourself up for success. So I think that'll be a good thing. Yeah.